So welcome to the Transition and Thrive Summit. So we will be opening with Avalaura Gaither, and she will talk to you about how to get your mindset right and protect your energy. So Avalaura, as the first host for the day, please share with our guests.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining Transition and Thrive. I appreciate you being here. You took the time out to come and to really learn how to enhance not just your business, but your life as well. And so I'm going to talk about that connection because one of the things that a lot of business owners don't really think about is, how to really master their energy and create a mindset shift. They think a lot about their actual business and marketing and systems and things like that, but they don't think about how to manage their own personal well-being. So I'm going to talk about that today. But before I do that, I want to tell you a little bit more about me and how I got here and how I learned that this shift was so important, not just for my clients, but actually for my own personal experience. So what some of you might not know, it may or may not be in your bio. My background is actually in social work and mental health and counseling. So I did not have a business background. I got my bachelor's degree in psychology and master's degree in social work from Howard University. I knew nothing about business. And I was a program director at an outpatient mental health clinic here in Maryland. And really what happened for me is that I was really excited about being in the quote unquote healing profession and helping people and changing lives and helping people to transform. And once I got within the system, I realized that the system was not set up to help people to heal or to grow or to change, but it was really just set up to help people to maintain their dysfunction. And that's not what I had signed up for. That's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I was passionate about. And so I found myself in the confines of this system trying to help people who didn't really want to be helped. And because of that, I got burned out. And I know that now, but at the time, I didn't even realize it was burnout. I didn't even know what that meant. But that's essentially what happened. And so I started feeling depressed. I started feeling like I wasn't making a difference. I wasn't making an impact. I didn't want to go to work anymore. My whole mood really just shifted. So talk about an energy shift. I didn't have any energy. I didn't want to go to work anymore. I didn't want to do the things that I used to do. I wasn't happy. And this went on for a while. Because the truth is, even though here I am counseling and giving advice to other people, I didn't know how to help myself. And so what happened for me is I finally just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. I got sick and tired of struggling. I got sick and tired of feeling bad. I got sick and tired of being depressed. And knew I had to do something, but I didn't know what to do. And so what I finally did was just confide in one of my friends and tell her what was going on with me. And she said, Avalaura, you know what? I'm doing this women's retreat. Why don't you come out, join us? It'll be good for you. You can, get back to your old self, all of that. And I was just like, sign me up. I don't care what it is. Let's just go. Like at that point, I didn't care what she told me to do. If she had said, let's go hang gliding and, bungee jumping, I'd have been like, all right, okay, let's go. Because I wasn't feeling anything. I was literally just feeling like I was the walking dead at that point. And so I did. I went on this retreat and it ended up being one of the best decisions that I ever made. I started to notice a shift, in my mood and my energy. I felt like I was getting back to myself again. I spent time in nature. I was just, talking to like-minded women and, just getting back to doing a lot of the self-care techniques that I teach and talk about. Yoga, meditation, all of these things. And so I started to feel more like myself again. And really what happened was I didn't know how out of harmony I was with myself until I went to this retreat and had this experience. And I don't know if any of you have had that before. Like when you're in the midst of the storm, you don't even realize how bad it is until you start to kind of come out of it. And you're like, whoa, what was that? Who was that person? Like, what happened to me? I didn't realize just how off I was. And And it was during this retreat, what happened was I literally had an emotional breakthrough, or an emotional breakdown, as I call it. It really started with the breakdown for me to break through. And at one point, I think that I had just started feeling again, right? And I found myself on my hands and knees calling out to God, praying, like, you got to get me out of here. I can't live like this anymore. Like, this is not living. I don't know what I'm doing right now, but it's not living. And, I boo-hooed, I cried, I did the ugly cry. Like, I literally just let it all out and got it all out. Woo-saw moment. And I felt good. I felt better. I felt like, okay, this is good. And then it hit me like, dang, I got to go back to work on Monday. And instantly, my mood came right back down again. Like, shoot, like, this ain't over. I got to go back to the rat race, right? This weekend has been great, but nothing has really changed in my life, essentially. But that's what I did. I went back to work on Monday, went back to my normal routine. I'm there. My boss calls me into his office and he says, Avalaura, sit down. I want to talk to you. And I'm like, sure, no problem. What's going on? And he sits me down and he says, he said, it's been great having you. I think you're an amazing person, but I got to let you go. And I said, wait, what? He said, I got to let you go. Here's 2 weeks severance. Basically, it's been nice having you. And needless to say, I was in shock. I am type A, overachiever, recovering perfectionist, go hard or go home. I had never been fired from anything in my life. And so I could not believe that this man was firing me. So, my ego was going on and on in my head, like, oh my God, what are you doing? I can't believe this is happening. How dare you? All that stuff that we do, right? And then, finally this little small voice creeps in, right? My spirit. And she's like, Avalaura, why are you upset? Why are you complaining? This is what you prayed for. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do about this? And that became my question, like, what am I gonna do? And that right there was a moment to shift, right? Like, what am I going to do? And it was like, okay, am I going to take the blue pill? Am I going to take the safe route and just go back into social work and just get another job, right? Because if anybody knows anything about the social work profession, jobs are a dime a dozen. It's not difficult. So am I just going to get another job, or am I going to take that red pill? Am I going to venture into the path of the unknown and take that faith walk and just do the dang thing, right? So you all can imagine which pill I took, because I am here today. I'm talking to you. I don't think you would have been talking to me if I took the blue pill. I don't know if I would have been here. But I took the red pill, and I learned a lot of lessons from that, because like I said, I did not have a background in business. And so one of the things that I did was I literally took what I call my 6-month healing sabbatical. And I think this is so important, and I want you all to hear this, because anytime we venture into something new, we need to prepare ourselves. And so I took a 6-month healing sabbatical. I got life coaching, I got counseling. That's when I learned Reiki, hypnotherapy, aromatherapy, a lot of the healing arts that I do now. That's where I learned. I got more into my meditation and yoga practice. I did the work. Who am I? Why am I here? What have I been called to do? What is it that I can do that nobody else can do? Why did God put me here? What is my purpose? What is my passion? I did all of that. I took out that time. And at the end of that 6 months, I opened up Avalaura's Healing Center. And that was in November of 2005. So 15 years ago now, 15 years ago. And I continue to do that work. And I think it's really significant, because then after I did that work, I created that shift for myself. Now my clients who were coming to me were going through similar things. They were going through these life transitions. I got a divorce and I don't know what to do, or I'm going through a divorce, or I just broke up a major breakup and I'm heartbroken and I don't know what to do, right? I just lost my job, or I'm at my job, I'm making 6 figures, I'm doing well, but I hate it. What do I do? Right? Like all of these things. And so my clients started mirroring my experience. And because of that, I could help them because I had been through it and I had done the work. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what I did during that process so that you can really master your energy and create a mindset shift. And I want you all to understand that the mindset shift is one of the most important things that you can ever do. I could not show up. I could not have done that 6-month journey and opened up my business had I not taken the time to create that mindset shift. Because being an employee and being a business owner are two completely different things. We think very different. We move very different. We do things and take risks that most people will never do. So it really is a shift. And the thing that I have learned is if your mind ain't right, your business ain't tight. If your mind ain't right, your business ain't tight. So one of the first things that you want to embark on, whether it's starting a new business, whether it's transitioning in your business, right? Because that's what we're talking about. You still got to create a mindset shift. It doesn't matter if you've been in business 5 years, 10 years, you still got to shift mentally to pivot, to change, to transition. And so one of the things that I think is important for you all to know is how your mind works, right? So one of the things that I want you to know, and there's a lot. So when I work with my clients, I actually teach them about the 6 laws about beliefs. And I'm not going to go into all of that today. I don't have time for that. But I teach them about the 6 laws about beliefs so that you understand your process and what's going to be coming up for you as you continue to grow and change and heal. And so in the 6 laws about beliefs, one of the things that you learn is that scientists basically say average around, we have about 60,000 thoughts every single day. So anywhere between, 50 to 80,000. So we just say an average of 60,000 thoughts. So every single day in your head, you have 60,000 thoughts. Now, here's what I want you to understand about those 60,000 thoughts. In your 60,000 thoughts, about 80% of those thoughts are negative. 80% of those thoughts are negative. How do we know this? Let me give you an example. So let's say I meet you and I'm like, oh, wow, it's great meeting you. We've talked before. It's wonderful meeting you in person. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. I love your hair. I love your outfit. You look good. You smell good. But oh my God, your breath stinks. What are you going to walk away from after that conversation? How are you going to feel? What are you going to keep replaying over and over in your head? Are you going to replay that, oh my God, Avalaura said that I'm beautiful and that she loved my hair and she loved my outfit? Nah. You're going to be like, she said my breath stink. Can you believe that? Oh my God, my breath, she said that to me? And that is what's going to go over and over in your head all day. That is how our brains think. So that is why we really have to make sure that we're constantly doing things to boost the positive, because our minds automatically go to the negative. We are predisposed. 80% of your 60,000 thoughts every single day are negative. And here's the thing. It's not just that 80% are negative, but every single day, and this is what I want you to hear this. Every single day, you have the same 60,000 thoughts. They don't change. It's not like Monday you got 60,000 thoughts, and then Tuesday you got 60,000 different thoughts, and then Wednesday you got 60,000 different thoughts. You have the same thoughts every single day. So what's happening is you are literally programming yourself every single day. And you get to choose if that program is positive, or you get to choose if your program is just a broken record that goes on and on and on in your head every single day. So that is why a lot of times it's so hard to create a shift, because you are contending with these negative thoughts that you're having every single day. And you're like, I mean, I know what to do, but how come I'm not doing it? Because what's going on in your head? If your mind ain't right, your business ain't tight. So sometimes it's not about all the things that you know, it's about what you don't know. It's not about the things that you know, it's about what you don't know. And what most of us don't know is what's going on in our own heads. We don't pay attention. We just try to push through. I don't feel like it. I don't like this, but I need to do it. So-and-so told me I need to buy this system. So-and-so told me I need to have this website. So-and-so told me I need to sell these products. And so you listen to all of that, but you don't listen to what's going on in your own head. So you don't even know what you're contending with. You don't even know what those negative thoughts are that are holding you back and keeping you stuck. And so you wonder why you might have certain level of success, but then you somehow end up sabotaging yourself because you're out of harmony with yourself. You're out of harmony with your own energy. You're out of harmony with what's going on in your head. So I'm going to give you 3 things that you can really do to create that mindset shift. And you can do these things immediately. When I give you things, there's lots of things that I teach, right? But when I give you things, I want to give you things that you can easily implement now. That is not a difficult barrier to entry, because sometimes people will talk over your head and they'll tell you all this stuff, and then they won't tell you how you can make changes now. I'm going to tell you, yes, you can work with me, and it will be one of the best things that you will ever do. But if you never work with me, if you walk away with this information and do it, I promise you it will change your life. And that's what I want. So the first thing that I want you to do to get your mindset right, to create that mindset shift, I want you to start to pay attention to your beliefs. You take an inventory of your beliefs, right? So you can do this in a way of a brain dump, where you can just sit down and maybe look at a different topic. Maybe you can look at, what are my beliefs around being an entrepreneur? Like, I had to do this because, again, remember I said I was a social worker, right? I was in mental health. And so one of the things that I contended with my beliefs, it wasn't that I lacked confidence, but I didn't have confidence in being a business owner because I had never done it and I had never seen it. I don't come from a family of business owners. My family are teachers, lawyers, professionals, right, that have great jobs, but not business owners. So I had to contend with the fact that I didn't know how to run a business. I also came from a field, social work is a helping profession. So initially, I just wanted to help everybody. How do I charge for my business? Like, I didn't know how to charge. And then there's this whole thing as a healer, right, that, oh, you're not supposed to charge. You're supposed to give away your services. How you gonna make money as a business if you're giving away your services? How you gonna make money if you're not charging enough? So, and then you end up depleted, and then you end up resentful because you're not charging enough, you're not making any money, and then you talk about an energy depletion, and now you don't want to do it anymore because you're not benefiting. You're helping everybody else, but you're not helping yourself. So these were some of the beliefs that I had to contend with. So what are your beliefs? What are the negative beliefs that you have going on in your head every single day? So you can do this by topic. You can look at, what are your beliefs around your career? What are your beliefs around your family? What are your beliefs about your business? What are your beliefs around your health, your spirituality, your relationships? You can do this about any topic. Or you can just kind of tap into yourself and just do a brain dump and write down anything that comes to mind. So I want you to take an inventory of your beliefs. When I'm working with my clients, I take them through a series of processes that help them to immediately get to what the negative beliefs are. So we can counteract that and discreate them and create what I call a tabula rasa, which is a clean slate. So now you have a clean slate, so you can reprogram yourself for the positive beliefs. So a lot of what we try to do is, I'm going to do affirmations, and I am not going to recommend affirmations to you. That's what a lot of people will say. But the problem with affirmations is, if you got 60,000 thoughts going on in your head every single day, If you do 100 affirmations a day, how are you contending against those 60,000 thoughts? And remember, 80% of them are negative. So those affirmations alone are not going to work for you. So first, you got to do an inventory. You got to see what's there and get them out, clear them out, just create them. And then now you can start to reprogram yourself. But that's the next step. I'm not going to take you there yet. So first thing, do an inventory. The second thing that you can do, and I am such an advocate of this, is meditation. This is a great self-care technique, but it is also a great mental mindset technique. And a lot of times people think that meditation changes your beliefs, and it doesn't. What it really does is help you to tap into your beliefs. It helps you to tap into yourself. And what it also helps you to do is to calm yourself down, to relax, to get a hold of yourself. And it helps you to learn how to control your beliefs. So it doesn't help you to necessarily change your beliefs, but it helps you to control your beliefs. There's lots of benefits to meditation. I am not even going to go into all of that right now. You can get my meditation. You can Google about meditation. There are hundreds and hundreds of benefits. But what I want you to understand is that meditation will help you to shift your mindset. And when you meditate, there are different ways to meditate. When you meditate, it is not so important how long you meditate. This is a big question that I get all the time. Like, how long should I meditate? That's not really important. I don't care if you meditate 20 minutes. I don't care if you meditate 30 minutes. I don't care if you meditate an hour. What's really important about meditation is the consistency. Are you meditating every day? Because if you meditate for an hour once a week, that's not going to cut it. Remember, I said you got 60,000 thoughts going on in your head every single day. Meditating once a week is not going to cut it. You need to meditate every single day. You think every day, you meditate every day. You think every day, you meditate every day. So if you sit down and you meditate for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, great. If you're doing that every day and you can keep that up, that's what you do. But I don't want you to start saying, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to meditate every day, twice a day for 30 minutes, and then you can't keep it up, so you stop. So start with saying, I'll meditate 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day in the morning or in the evening or whenever works for you. Because again, that's not important either. If only time that you have is in the afternoon at lunch, take that time to meditate. If you try meditating in the morning, you can't do it. If you try meditating in the evening, you can't do it. Do what works for you. So 5 to 10 minutes, take that time to figure out when you can meditate. And when you meditate, and again, there's different techniques. I have a meditation, I teach meditation. I didn't want to get into all of that today because we just don't have the time. But what I want you to do is really focus on your breathing. There are lots of different types of meditations, but focusing on your breathing. Because when you can focus on your breathing, you can get a hold of your energy. Because remember, I'm not just talking about your mindset, I'm also talking about your energy as well, right? How to master your energy and how to protect your energy. So meditation is a tool that helps you to master and protect your energy and also help you to shift and control your mind. So it serves for both purposes and so much more. So you get more bang for your buck. It's like you get a 2-for-1, right? So I want you to meditate. And when you meditate, I want you to get breath control. Get control of your breath, inhaling and exhaling through your diaphragm, not through your chest, through your diaphragm. And when you meditate through your diaphragm, if you're sitting and watching me right now, you can actually put your hands on your belly. The way that you do that is when you inhale, your belly goes out. So literally you get that big Buddha belly or that Corona belly, right? Because we've been sitting in the house and not doing anything and probably not exercising, right? So you got that Corona belly. So when you inhale, you push your belly out. And then when you exhale, suck your belly in. So inhale, belly out, exhale, belly in. So practice that. Put your hands on your belly And just inhale, push your belly out. Exhale, suck your belly in. Inhale, belly out. Exhale, belly in. So even if you just sit and practice that for 5 to 10 minutes, I promise you, it will create a mindset shift and it will help you to master your energy. Just that. I mean, I go into more elaborate meditations. Yes, that's cool. But if you just start with that, keep it simple, y'all. Some of you are just trying to do too much. And in trying to do too much, you deplete your energy. You don't feel like you're doing anything. You don't feel like you're being productive. And so what happens is you kind of stop, you get stuck, and you're like, oh, forget it. This stuff don't work. And it's not that it doesn't work. It's just that maybe you're not doing it correctly. Maybe you don't have the right guide or the right teacher, or you're trying to do too much. So you're not really taking the time out to master what it is that you're doing. So if you just sit and did that for 30 days, no one ever taught me that. See? Yeah, no one ever teaches you. See, a lot of times when people teach meditation, they don't teach you how to breathe. They just say, oh, meditate. Go ahead and meditate. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. And then you go and Google these free meditations and you do the Deepak Chopra and Oprah meditation and you're sitting there. But if you don't know how to breathe, you don't know how to meditate. The first thing that I'm going to do is teach you how to breathe. Because if you're not breathing correctly, you're not getting the benefits of meditation. That's the first thing. So I know we all like free, but it doesn't teach you how to actually meditate. I'm sorry. Free don't teach you. It just says do it. It just says listen to me, but it doesn't teach you. If you want to be taught, if you really want to learn, you got to invest. That's just how it is. So you take an inventory of your beliefs. So a lot of us are shallow breathers. Yeah, a lot of us are shallow breathers. And if you're a shallow breather, you're not meditating. You can't meditate. You're chest breathing. But what I'm teaching you to do is breathe like babies breathe. Like when we come out the womb, that's how we breathe. So we're kind of going back, right? Going back to where we came from, so to speak. So, yeah, so we're taking that inventory. We are now meditating. The third thing, and again, this is a quick thing that you can do. I'm telling you, I'm giving you things that you can implement immediately. I'm not trying to give you things that you can't do. There is a lot more, but you can do this right now. The third thing is practice gratitude. Practice gratitude. Remember I said your brain automatically goes to negative thinking. Automatic. That's what we do. We've been doing it our whole lives, right? So you can't go from that to automatically just being positive. So one of the things that you can do is start a gratitude practice. And again, gratitude is scientifically proven to making you happy. Gratitude is scientifically proven to make you happy. And the reason is because you're positive. You feel better because you're thinking of all of the things that you have versus all of the things that you don't have. If you start thinking about all the things that you don't have and you need, you automatically bring your mood down. You automatically deplete your energy. But when you start thinking about all the stuff that you have, you automatically bring your mood up and your energy expands and you feel better. You show up differently. So there's a lot of different ways to practice gratitude. Again, you can add this, if you sit down and you meditate 5 to 10 minutes a day, you can take 2 minutes literally and practice gratitude. You can do this when you first thing in the morning. You can do this after your meditation. You can do this again in the afternoon, like whatever works for your particular schedule. That's one of the things that you got to do is learn what works for your schedule, not what works for Avalaura's schedule. Don't do it how I do it. Don't do it how Leon does it or Kathy does it or Jessica. Like what works for you. So I like to practice gratitude first thing in the morning when I wake up. I pray, I practice gratitude. And I think about all the things that I have. Like, wow, I woke up this morning. Wow, I'm alive. I'm in this house, right? I have my friends. I have my family. I have amazing clients today who actually believe in me, who pay me to help them. I get to do the work that I love every single day. Like, how cool is that? Like, so I think about all of these things. So you can do it kind of free flowing like that, or you can make it like a set practice, like where you just sit down and for 2 minutes, just write down all the things that you're grateful for. So you can get a gratitude journal. You can think about them. So you can write them down. You can think about them. You can talk them out. You can talk about it, right? So these are all the different ways of expressing that gratitude. Yes, it does work. It works all the time. When you're feeling down, this is an immediate way to bring up your energy. Immediate. It works every single time. You can look at what other people are going through and, say, well, God, here I am complaining that I'm stuck in a house, but at least I have a house. I know people who are in apartments, they can't go out and just get fresh air. I'm in a house and I can just step outside and breathe the air and see the trees and the birds, like that's beautiful. So yeah, I'm stuck in a house, but I have all of this around me, right? Like, so whatever that immediate shift is. So practice gratitude. So the 3 ways that you can, again, get your mind right immediately, because if your mind ain't right, your business ain't tight. You can do a personal inventory of your beliefs. Start to see what those negative beliefs are. Start to see what's holding you back, what's keeping you stuck. What are the things that you're thinking over and over and over again? Because again, you get to choose. You can think negative things every day, or you can start to think positive things. But if you don't know what you're thinking, you can't correct them. You can't just do affirmations because you don't even know what's going on in your brain. So you got to know what's going on in your brain. So do that inventory. Second thing is meditation. The third thing is practicing gratitude. If you do those 3 things, you will automatically start to create a mindset shift. And by virtue of creating that mindset shift, you will also start to boost your energy because you feel better. So if you guys haven't figured it out, I talk about self-care, I teach self-care. Even though this isn't a quote unquote self-care talk, I'm really teaching you some self-care techniques. So these are not things that only work for one thing. They work across the board. There are numerous benefits. I always like to teach you how to get bang for your buck, right? So if you can do one thing and it works in several areas of your life, that's what we're going to do. So all of these things will work in several areas of your life. And then if you add intention to it, it makes it even more powerful. So if you can say, I am practicing this meditation so that I will shift my mind, right? So it makes it even more powerful because now you have an intention behind it. Or I'm practicing this meditation because I want more peace, or I want to relax. I'm really stressed out right now and I just need to relax, right? So adding that intention makes it even more powerful. So that's just kind of a bonus. Add intention to every single thing that you do, and it will increase the power of whatever it is that you're doing. So I'm looking at the chat. If you have any questions, any comments, I see the comments coming in. Any questions about any of that before I move on to really talk about now your purpose? That's what I want to talk a little bit about. Any questions? Okay. So now that I've taught you about your mindset, now we can look at what is your purpose, right? Because here's the reality. It's very difficult to get to your purpose if you don't even know what's going on in your mind. A lot of us try to do it backwards. We're like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I'm passionate about, but you don't take that time to see what's going on in your mind. So now that you got that done and you're constantly doing that, right? It's not a hit and quit it. It's not a one night stand. This is something that you're doing consistently every single day. Consistently, right? Now we can look at purpose. And the reason that is so important to be in purpose, again, because we're talking about also how to master your energy. There's that saying that when you do the work you love, you never work a day in your life, right? And I can say that like this week in particular, last week, I have been so busy. Like, I don't know if I'm coming or going. I don't know what's going on. But because I love what I do, I can continue to do it. I love what I do. I am so passionate about my work. I am so passionate about my clients. If I was working for somebody else, I promise y'all, I would have been like, oh, I'm sick. Let me take a mental health day. I can't take it. But I'm working for myself and I love it, so I can keep going. So it's really important to have purpose in your life, whether you are working in a job for somebody else, whether this is your business, it's important to have purpose. And I find that a lot of people really don't know what their purpose is. They don't really have a clue. And so we're kind of just willy-nilly in it. So even if you've achieved some level of success in your life, you're not happy because you're not in purpose. So like going back to my story, when I was in social work, I was successful, all intents and purposes. I had a really great job. I was making good money. I had bought my first home. I bought my first home. I was 21. I was married. Like, I had all the trappings of success, but I was not happy because I was not in purpose. And here's the thing. It wasn't that the things that I did were wrong, because honestly, majoring in psychology and social work, those were the right fields for me. But I just needed to make a shift, right? I just needed to transition how I was using those skills, because working in the traditional mental health field was not for me. That was not in purpose for me. So sometimes it's not about what we've done. Sometimes we look at like, oh, I'm not doing the right things. It's not that. Maybe you're doing the right things, but now you got to shift how you're doing it. Because I'm telling you, sometimes those little shifts make all the difference in the world. So for me, it was taking my education, it was taking my experience and shifting into my own business and having a more holistic practice, a more holistic approach, and tapping into healing and understanding that talk therapy ain't it. Like, I could talk people to death, but that ain't enough. They need exercises, they need skills, they need tools, right? They need to focus on what's going on with them mentally, emotionally, spiritually, what's going on in their energy. They need Reiki healing and things like that to focus on their traumas and, their old pent up emotions. So it wasn't the skills that I had, it was shifting those skills. So I want you to think about that when you think about your purpose. Like, maybe some of the things that you've done are leading up to your purpose, but you just haven't made that correct shift yet. So I want to give you some questions, because the way to really get to your purpose is to start to ask yourself a lot of questions. And this is in my book, Bliss. I talk a lot about this, like how to live in passion and purpose. And so I ask you a gang of questions, right? So I want you to write this down. And I know we have a group, a Facebook group. So I'll be, putting some of this in the group. Or you can just get my book, Bliss. You can get that too, right? But here are some of the questions that I want you to ask yourself. What really inspires you? What really inspires you? That really is important. I don't mean halfway inspires you. What really inspires you? Like, what really inspires me is just seeing my clients grow. I freaking love everything about it. I love when they get those ahas and I've said something, they've experienced something, and they just like light bulb and they grow like glowing, and they're like, oh my God, Avalaura, I never thought about that. Oh my freaking God. I live for that. I live for that. What really inspires you? Right? I also live for food, which is why if you look at my Instagram, it's Healer Avalaura, but you see just as much food as you do everything else. I think I'm gonna start a cookbook. So what really inspires you, right? And then head wraps. I love head wraps. Like, what really inspires you? So that could be multiple things. For some people, they're like laser focused is one thing. But for many of us, it's multiple things. We have multiple gifts, multiple talents, multiple things that we love. So just write it down, whatever comes to you. What really inspires you? The second thing is, if you couldn't fail, what would you do? If you couldn't fail, what would you do? That means you're not taking a safe route. You're not keeping your little six-figure job because you getting your bills paid and you're keeping your insurance and you work so hard to get here and this is what everybody told you to do. No. What would you do if you couldn't fail? What are the risks that you could take? So for me, right, I didn't go back to the social work field. I started my own business. That was the what would I do if I couldn't fail? I took that leap. I didn't know nothing about it, but I said, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm just going to go ahead and believe enough in myself and do it. And that's what I did. So what would you do if you couldn't fail? That's the second question. Third question, if you were forced to start over again, what would you do? If you were forced to start over again, what would you do? So one of the things that we learned during this time is that we had to transition. You know, you can see the difference between the businesses who tried to do business as normal and the businesses who said, you know what? In order for this to work, I got to transition. So for instance, I do Reiki trainings. I love teaching Reiki. And I've been very successful at it. I only teach them live here in College Park, Maryland. One of the transitions that I had to make was teaching them virtually. And it was one of the best things that I ever did because now virtually I could take more students. I had students attending from Nigeria. So I could take more students. I could manage my energy better because it wasn't personal. And I made more money and affected more people. Like, why wasn't I always doing this? So if you had to start over, what would you do? That was for me. That's what I had to do. I had to rethink everything that I was doing. I lost a lot of speaking engagements and I was pissed, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie, I was pissed because it was a lot of money I was losing. And then I started shifting to webinars. Now I'm almost about at what I would have made beforehand, just from doing 2 webinars. I got one more scheduled and I'm probably be scheduling more. I had to make that shift. So if you were forced to start over again, because for many of us, that's what this period has been like. We've been forced to start over. If you were forced to start over again, what would you do? That's the third question. Fourth question, if money wasn't an issue, what would you do? If money wasn't an issue, what would you do? A lot of us feel like, oh my God, I don't have enough money to invest in my business, or I don't have enough money to get this system, or I don't have enough money to hire this coach, or whatever it is. But take money off the table. If money wasn't an issue, what would you do? How would you proceed? Because if you look at that, again, you're not focusing on the negative, you're focusing on the positive. You're creating that shift. If you focus on what you would do, now you can look at, okay, you know what? I really want to get this coach, or I really want to get this system. Now, how can I do it? Versus, oh, I don't have the money, I can't do it. You see the difference in that? So look at, I got all the money in the world. Money ain't an issue. What am I going to do? So that's the fourth question. Fifth question, and this is hard for a lot of people. I recognize this is very difficult for a lot of people. What is your biggest dream? What is your biggest dream? You know, one of the things that I've realized over the 15 years now that I've been working in private practice with my clients is that a lot of us have stopped dreaming. That at some point in our childhood, in our adulthood, people told us we couldn't have what we wanted. We had maybe a lot of traumas. We tried to do things and we failed. And so we stopped dreaming. We stopped believing that we could have the things that we wanted. And we started settling for crumbs. So what I want to know is, what is your biggest dream? What is it that you've always wanted that you're afraid to tell people, that you're afraid to even admit to yourself? What is it? Because if you don't start focusing on that, if you don't start thinking about that, you're never going to have it. You're never going to have it. You're going to keep settling for crumbs. So one of the biggest transitions that I've had to help my clients through, a major healing process, is dreaming again, is believing that you are worthy of your dreams and that you can have your dreams. And maybe we got to work through the beliefs, right? And the feelings and the traumas associated with trying to have these things, and you couldn't have it because somebody told you, maybe your family, you can't do that. Oh, I know you want to be a writer, but everybody in our family are doctors. And so you gave up on being a writer, right? Or you gave up on traveling the world because you felt you got family and you got children and you can't do that. So we got to get back to dreaming again. What is your biggest dream? And I'm going to go through the last 5 rather quickly, okay? Because I want to leave time for questions. Again, if you have questions, let me know. The 6th question is, what is the biggest barrier stopping you from following your dream? So kind of like I talked about it, like, is it your beliefs? Is it people around you telling you that you can't have these things? Is it you feel like you don't have enough money, or you don't have time, or, what is the biggest barrier stopping you from following your dreams? That's the 6th question. 7th question, what passion? I love this question, y'all. What passion are you afraid of owning or admitting? What passion are you afraid of owning or admitting? Sometimes we're afraid to admit stuff to ourselves because we feel like a failure if we're not actually doing it or not actually living it. And so we don't even want to mention it. We don't want to think about it. We just rather say, I'm good. I'm cool with what I got, but you're not. There's something deep down inside you that you really want to do, and you don't even want to admit it to yourself. So what passion are you afraid of owning or admitting? And then number 8, the 8th thing, as a child, what did you really want to be? What did you want to be as a child? I know some of us think that's ridiculous. I was a child, but sometimes there's some truth to that. Like when I was a child, I really wanted to be a singer. I did, y'all. I wanted to be Whitney Houston. I couldn't sing nothing like Whitney Houston, but I wanted to be Whitney Houston. I did. And I'm a speaker, so maybe I got close. I still perform on stage. I just talk instead of sing. But what did you want to do when you were a child? What did you dream about? What did you dream about? Yeah, I mean, that's making a shift. Listen, I find a way to shift out of everything. Nothing is broken. Nothing can't be used, right? If you focus on the highest thing that you want, we can figure out a way to make it happen. It might need to be shifted, but we can figure that out. It's not broken. It's not, it's not like, oh, well, I can't sing, so I can't do that. Well, hell, I can still be on stage. I just won't sing. I'll talk. How about that? Everything can be shifted. So number 8 is, as a child, what did you really want to be? Number 9, if you were going to die in the near future, what would you regret not doing? If you were going to die in the near future, what would you regret not doing? Now, let me tell you why this is so important. This is a very real phenomenon during this time. Of course, I don't wish death on anybody, but let's face it, we are all going to die. We are all going to die at some point. And during this time of COVID, we have seen people literally that we never thought would go, especially now, gone. Just like that. Young, old, right? Some of us have family members, friends, people that we grew up with, gone. So this is a really real phenomenon. This is not like pie in the sky. Oh my God, I'm not going to die anytime soon. I'm only 30 or I'm only 40. No, it can easily happen. So if you were going to die in the near future, what would you regret not doing? And then the 10th question, if you won $10 million, let's say in a lottery, right? You won $10 million in the lottery tomorrow. How would you spend that money? If you won $10 million in the lottery tomorrow, how would you spend that money? So those are the 10 questions to ask yourself to help you to really discover your purpose. I'm going to read through that really quickly one more time. Number 1, what really inspires you? Number 2, if you couldn't fail, what would you do? Number 3, if you were forced to start over again, what would you do? Number 4, if money wasn't an issue, what would you do? Number 5, What is your biggest dream? Number 6, what is the biggest barrier stopping you from following your dreams? Number 7, what passion are you afraid of owning or admitting? Number 8, as a child, what did you really want to be? Number 9, if you were going to die in the near future, what would you regret not doing? And number 10, if you won $10 million in the lottery tomorrow, how would you spend that money? So those are the 10 questions to ask yourself to help you discover your purpose. Another quick way, obviously, is that is something that I do pretty much immediately with my clients. I can pretty much see the blind spots immediately. But you can also ask your friends or family, right? Like if you're really feeling stuck and you're trying to answer these questions and you're not really sure, ask your friends and family, because a lot of times your friends and family understand you sometimes better than you understand yourself. So ask them, what are 3 things that I'm really good at? You know, what are things that I do naturally that I don't even know that I'm doing? Right? And they can sometimes help you discover. Like that's how I came to head wrapping. I promise y'all, I didn't see this as a skill. Y'all might be like, what? But I really didn't. Like, it's something that I just did, that I loved. And people would comment on it. And I was like, well, dang, all these people keep asking me about how to wrap my hair and where I get my hair wraps. There must be something to this. But I didn't think about it on my own because it wasn't what I was focused on. I'm thinking I'm doing what I love. This is just a hobby. This is just what I do for myself. Thank you. So a lot of times people can show you things about yourself that you didn't even realize. So ask your close friends and your family members. So I know we are almost out of time. I think that I've given you a lot of food for thought, right? I've given you a lot to focus on. Any questions or comments? And I would love for you to share what's at least one thing that you're going to walk away from that you're going to do after this session. What's at least one thing that you're going to do? I'm all about implementation. Information without implementation is a waste. Information without implementation is a waste. You got to implement. So what's the thing that you're going to walk away with? How to breathe. Yes. I want you to walk away with at least one thing that you're going to do differently after this. How to breathe, meditation, and breath. I learned how to meditate. Awesome. Awesome. So I hope that this will really prepare you to get your mind right. Because remember, if your mind ain't right, your business ain't tight. And you're going to need to carry this through the rest of the sessions, right? So everything that you're learning, you know, when you're learning all these different techniques, when you're learning how to create these digital products, when you're learning about all of these platforms, right? I always want you to question, look at your beliefs behind it. Because sometimes you're looking at it and you're like, oh, this looks good, but I can't do it. What is that belief that's telling you that you can't do it, right? What's going on in your head that's telling you that you can't do what Kathy is teaching you, or what Leon is teaching you, or what Jessica is teaching you? I want you to think about that so that you don't get stuck and you don't sabotage yourself because you're constantly thinking about those things that you can't do versus the things that you can. So if you can catch yourself in the moment, you will you'll do better with the sessions that follow because you'll be more open, right? You'll be more open and you'll be more in tune with your thoughts and your energy. And so you can really quickly tap into what they're teaching you and get it quickly. That's what I want for you. My intention is that you're open with yourself, that you're dreaming big, that you're in the flow of your natural energy, that your mind is right. So now you can receive all the amazing sessions that will follow this, and you can really just kill it in business. You can easily transition and thrive. If you want to know more about me, if you want to contact me, if you want to work with me, if you just want to say, hey, Avalaura, what's up? I am Googleicious. You can find me everywhere. You can find me at avalaura.com, AVALAURA. That is avalaura.com. I am all over social media. All of my social media links are on my website. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. I'm everywhere, y'all. Easy to find. So you can contact me if you want to work with me. You can schedule an initial consultation, and we can get started that way. So thank you all for attending. I look forward to continuing to support you and assist you in your journeys in transitioning and thriving in your business. And I hope that you have an amazing time during the summit. And I look forward to the next session that's really going to continue to help you to move even further in your business. Have an amazing day, y'all. Next session. What's the next session that everybody's going to?
Hey. So we have our next session coming up. But I do want to just make sure that we don't have any questions for Avalaura before she leaves, to ensure, sorry guys, we come up on video, to ensure that there aren't any questions you may have, because this is a really, really important topic. And we need to make sure that we understand exactly who your target audience is in order to move forward. So if you're having any questions at all, please let us know in the chat, and we will go ahead and ask Avalaura. If you know who your ideal audience is, if you're like, yes, no, this was great, this just confirmed everything, then we will go ahead and move to the next speaker. All right, so since we don't have any questions, we will go ahead and move to the next speaker. Thank you so much, Avalaura, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.